Yes. All right. Their timer has started, guys. This is about to be hype. So we got green cooler versus yellow trunks. This is gonna be hype. All right, yeah, go ahead. You can start. It's hard for me to dive in while I'm doing this.
Okay, so
tell me a little bit about this matchup, bro. This is about to be a hype match.
well, TrunksGeta has a lot of tools right now. They have a lot of tools that they gain from the starter deck, along with the what's his name? Along with the Vegito A-drop,
Yup.
which is going to be
All the new
effective in
support.
nullifying only because Cooler's going to be able to attack multiple times with unisons. But I think that the Vegito is going to be a strong counterplay. Yo, we got it. Yo, definitely, Espacito, you commentate with us. Yeah, so we're unclear on how the beginning of the match is gonna start. It's gonna look very regular. TrunksGeta missed his one drop.
Yeah, that's big.
That's big.
Extremely big. Yeah, that's the correct word. That's horrible.
It's not too bad because again, this matchup, the biggest thing that's gonna be a factor is the Vegito. If he generates that 2Z energy, he's gonna be. I need a larger screen. Can you? Yeah.
I got you.
If he generates that 2Z energy, it's gonna hold a lot of weight, especially being a blocker. He will have to deal with a charismatic villain, which a lot of people haven't seen in a while.
Right.
But having access to the Trunks 3-drop is going to be also phenomenal in holding off some of this pressure. Now, I don't know what SCRs they're playing. Let me
Do you want to jump in and commentate while I'm trying to? Yeah.
You guys have the link for everything? Did you post it anywhere?
I'm trying to do that now. Let me do that now. Yes, it's the Hill Twins.
I'll share it everywhere.
Yeah, it's
The Hill Twins, I see.
yeah, it's literally the Hill
I'll grab
Twins.
the Twitch.
Sounds cooler. So he's going to go ahead
/ the Hill Twins. I'm gonna share it now.
and awaken.
Actually, yeah, let me go ahead and share it now.
I can make things good.
I'm just trying to get these texts now, get their names and stuff.
These special summons. Now so we're going to see Evolve here on a tap out, and that's going to help. Interesting. So if we don't see a Trunks, then we do see a Vegeta, but Vegeta's not really effective in this matchup. Conversely, on Green Cooler's end, there's no real pressure right now for him to make major plays. That's going to come in the later game when he's able to activate his counter plays and his counter attacks. So he brings out the Trunks, and I don't think we're going to see an attack here. He ends his turn.
Learning the card.
Going on the second charge. He charges Homicidal. Homicidal is a strong card, but it's weak in this matchup largely because he's playing against yellow. That's a decent charge.
Not even just yellow, TrunksGeta.
In general, right.
In general, it's bad, but TrunksGeta, it's almost
Right.
worthless
I mean,
because
cooler.
you don't play a lot on your opponent's turn, and the Trunks just rest it.
Rested, right. But then you also
immediately,
have
so you
access to
get
cool.
no value.
Right. So you essentially just took a damage there.
It's definitely good for certain situations, but not many anymore.
Okay, so he's gonna go ahead and swing again. I'm unclear. What unison is that? Okay, so he's gonna play that unison over it, and that is the Freezer unison.
That's what I think.
I need a larger view. I can't see this. I can't literally see the game. I literally can't see the game. So he does bring out the Freezer unison. The Freezer unison has 5 markers on it. And the good part is that it does come and play wrestling. Sadly enough, I haven't seen this. Evolves. He sets up a second Trunks. This is gonna be an issue because if Green is unable to deal with this board, then he's gonna start to lose a lot of value. Now there are some options that Green have to deal with barrier, but right now it's looking like Yellow is setting up the way that he wants to. Now, at this point in gameplay, he decided to leave the attackers, but in this situation, this is where you want to attack, right? What I would have done was swung with one of the Trunks and pressured his hand because he's at 1, 2, 3, 4. He's at 4 life. Frieza swings.
Okay, so we just got that stream shared out. I want everybody to go ahead and share the stream. If you're watching on Facebook, please go ahead and tune into the Twitch stream because that's where we're going to be streaming indefinitely from. So I just used Facebook to kind of help share it and everything like that. Okay, so while I'm still editing the names,
Eric, you actually played this deck, right? You played Green Cooler.
I played against it.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so wow, Green Cooler versus Trunks. One of the things in this matchup that we have to take into account is hand control. Obviously, you know, hand control has not been a big thing in the meta for a while. And so, you know, this deck sort of has some pseudo hand control, especially with the new Cooler champion pack. 2 energy come into play when he attacks. He can KO something or discard a card. Very powerful. But TrunksGeta just doing what it does best, developing its board.
So declares the block off the swing. Now he's going to have to combo in order to get value out of this, or he's just going to be in a really good spot. Now my question is, however, he has 2 energy up. So it becomes a question on whether or not, you know, Trunks should have utilized that energy earlier, largely because, you know, you do have the blockers here. Right. So if you're not going to aggress, then and leave those up, then you can definitely do more with your turn in terms of energy.
Right.
So he goes ahead and swings.
You see a blocker in the game.
Right. So block on the gate should put him down to 4 life. It's so hard to see his life because the mat.
Yeah, we gotta fix that. I guess this is the first round. We missed round 1.
Right, unfortunately.
We was having so much technical difficulties. Mind you, I stayed up till 5
Cooler
o'clock
on stream.
like, what? And don't know how to commentate it, right?
What card is that he dropped, y'all? We need some help. Let me stop.
No, my gosh.
But overall, okay, so he's reading the card, and so will I be. Thank you. Okay.
It's a fact. And then you.
Oh no.
Allah.
Oh my god.
Okay. Put that down. Put that shit down. You know what? We didn't have to do commentary, guys. Just enjoy the music. Yo, we hope y'all are having good on this Saturday morning, man. There was a lot of issues getting out here. There was a barrier, the storm, slight barrier. But we're out here, we're doing it. So he goes ahead and drops this new, is that the new promo?
That is the new promo. Not the new promo.
Yes, yo, furry clip just subscribe with a prime. Woo! Thank you so much. For my boys, you ain't no vibes. Gang. When we mean gang, we mean like, you know, like this music. Okay, I'll be honest, y'all. I haven't seen Green Cooler in a minute. This is extremely interesting. But I just anticipate that this match, Yellow just have so many tools to deal with what Green Cooler is going to be able to put up. So I anticipate that largely this match is going to go towards the secret rare, right? Like Green Cooler has to. Ooh, we have charismatic villain in the game. Up there. Yep, that sounds perfect. So what are their names? Eric, you never put their names. Nate and who else? Paul. So Nate and Paul, thank you guys for tuning in. We had some difficulties, but we finally got up here. Okay, so he comes out the Dodoria. Now this is gonna be good for Nate because Nate can deal with some of that board. Oh wow, he got charismatic. That feels bad. Now the charismatic does get switched to rest mode because it's the first card that he played on both players' turns. Now we're gonna see the double strike, and it's gonna KO a card, and he's going to attack into leader. Now here's the problem with the Green Cooler. Green Cooler is gonna be forced to deal with this attack, and he plays the negate. That negate allows him to negate the attack. It's a limit 1, and then it allows you to KO one of your opponent's battle cards 4 or less. So we can see a lot of these defensive options built into Green Cooler, which is gonna be able to hold a lot of the deck back. Majority of Yellow Trunks aggressors are 4 or less. So he passes it, leaves the 2 energy open and a blocker. So he represents a very defensive board state in the form of 2 energy and open Trunks, as well as resting the first card that he plays in his turn. So Green has to find a way through this because as the game continues to go on, it will start to tax him. We do see Nate's hand. It has dropped, so this is Avalanche says Yu-Gi-Oh music on a DBS battle. So this
that's our go-to, guys. If you know us, or if you're just now tuning in, thank you guys so much for supporting us.
Right.
Okay.
So Paul is in the driver's seat here. Paul has a lot of aggression, but the issue here is Trunks, right? Unless he can deal with the Trunks that's on board, Nate is gonna have a way to deal with these major turns, right? In the form of Riposte, in the form of Vegito.
Right.
So those are gonna be the things that's gonna hold him back. Now we haven't seen the full hand control aspect, and we don't really know if Paul has built that into his deck, right? But if he has, that can be a thing that suppresses TrunksGeta because his hand right now is looking really low. And according, compared to traditional TrunksGeta, we're looking at like 6, 7 cards in his hand, 2 of which is gonna be used defensively. So his hand is gonna drop. And these are the twilights. These are the twilights that players have. A lot of players are sitting in this position, not just on stream, but actually in Swiss. They're sitting in this position. This is a tug of war. The game can go either way. Now, largely, secret rares are going to be one of the key determining factors when we're looking at how far a player is able to push this to the win. But Avalanche said, is this the 45-minute loop version? Yes, it is. A friend of mine is playing Red Vados and it's Tony. If he's doing well, can you show it on stream? Definitely. We definitely want to see these unique decks since we have the cooler. So yeah, we'll definitely honor that. But for right now, we do want to get like the tables that are actually performing. I can't see. I'm not gonna lie, I really wanted the Trunks.
Okay. All right. So you gotta bear with us, guys. So let's go ahead and add that.
And the reason why we got the Yu-Gi-Oh theme song, because it's not so much about what it is, it's how it makes you feel, right? Like, it's a call to action. Like, you're a doula, you're a player, you know what it is. It's time to play. Get ready. It's time to
win.
Right, it's definitely time to win. That's what these players have on their mind right now. So we're seeing that green Z battle card. Let's bring it up on stream for people. Oh, what is up, Harry? Thanks for tuning in, my boy. I need that green spreadsheet like right now. Once our coffees come, we'll be in a lot better shape.
No, it just was getting the stream out. There was
Right.
going to be no stream if we didn't. Okay, so I'm not sugarcoating for nobody.
We got the stream
It's the
for
house of
all-
hype.
all-
We gonna
all
get hype,
those.
and we gonna get hype. I just didn't want to go another round without y'all not whatchamacallit. We gonna get hype in a second. Let me just finish doing what I gotta do. All right.
Yes.
Move over. Do your thing, my boy.
Do your thing, my boy.
All right, we got news, right?
So a lot of players are asking themselves, what's the meta? What's good? What should I play for Atlanta? What should I compete for in the June online regionals, right? What should I play? How are these decks stacking? How are they performing, right? What's hitting in the format, right? Is Green Cooler a thing that can actually be played? And you're gonna find out here.
Yeah. 100%. It may not be green cooler, but
I mean, green is in such a rough spot. It's very interesting to see it compete here, only because green could, depending on how well it's built, it could find its way through the cracks, right? It could be like Green Cooler could be that deck. Sitting in front of Trunks is an issue, right? If his SCR is not Golden Cooler, if his SCR is not gonna deal with this board, then it's going to lose, right? And the reason why, largely, is because each time TrunksGeta is able to stack one of these Trunks on board, it's a negative deck, right? This is a green deck, this is a yellow deck. Yellow says, I don't care, I'm gonna play the long game if I'm forced to play the long game. If I have the means to kill you fast, I will. But I'm also yellow. I'm going to stifle your plays. I'm going to stagnate the flow of resources that you have, and ultimately, I'm going to grind you out. If any color can do it, it's yellow. At the same time, green actually has that capacity, right? We're looking at Frieza, charismatic Frieza, saying, hey, the best offensive options I'm going to deal with, right? Show me your secret rare. He's also using the negate that can kill off the 4-drops, right? Kills off his attacker Vegeta. It kills off his attacker Son Goku and Vegeta, double strike. So largely Nate has to rely on this defensive options. Where's the real value coming in? Right now, both players are trying to find a footing in the game, and that's what we're seeing on the board right now. In the form of Nate's, there we go. So we just saw his SCR. So is the SCR going to make a splash?
yeah, I mean, generally when we see
Players in this
Gohan, Piccolo coming down,
Players
we're looking at game.
Right.
We're looking at, if it's not on defense, we're trying to win. 100%.
right, and
So,
the biggest issue that I can find with how this game can go is that, so he comes down, is that this is a unison deck, right? I mean, yeah, there's combo power, but when we're talking about flexibility, that's so he swings with it. He's gonna rest. What are we seeing come down? And he's gonna bring out that is the counter attack, which is good. He's still able to rest it and draw it. Nice.
ooh,
Nice. But he still has 4 energy open. He did utilize his Trunks. So he rested all his Trunks. And this is the issue with TrunksGeta as well. Ooh, drops the double strike. This is rough. We're tapped out. Now your hand is going to have to...
dormant, but he has
Right,
to eat
but
him
he doesn't
through
have a
dormant.
dormant. If he had dormant, he would have used dormant to begin with. He doesn't have a dormant yet.
Right.
So now Nate, the question is, does Nate have the power? So he makes that a 30... I think you just make that a 35, right? I think you just make that a 35K. Use your hand. Okay, he drops a Vegito. This is kind of, it's a little rough. He takes the double strike. Now, how are we gonna make this count? If not, because his hand is pretty low. Can he generate another double strike? He has the BMS. Let's allow him to clear that board. So at least for the crackback, if he doesn't deal the damage that he needs to deal this turn, he's gonna be able to say, hey, have your unison, have this try to do something. So he attacks super combos, and Nate is exhausting his resources right now. So he intends on winning this turn. Power of the Super Saiyan. Super
Yeah, it's just
combo.
kind of nuts to see this happening because when you look at this,
Okay,
you
so he
know
takes-
it's pretty much game.
So
but
Paragus. Well, it's not game, right? Like look at the hand that there we go. Look at the hand, and he's not even adding those cards to his hand. He's saying, "Come at me, bro." Saying, "I'm a unison deck. You thought my hand was weak. Thank you for giving me this opportunity." And did he combo? He comboed another Vegito. This is interesting. And I say that because he had so many defensive options. He kind of puts himself in a position to where if he doesn't
did he
win,
over? Oh, he did over.
yes. So we've seen him combo one Vegito. Does he have another one? He EX evolves. Are we gonna see? Draws two. This is good. Replace his hand.
I think he pulled another super combo.
Whoa, he actually didn't get the combo power. He went to one? He went to one. Super combo. Wow. Wow.
Wow, yeah, this is big.
Wow, this can definitely be game. This is where you throw it all out. You
Still
throw
has
everything down.
access to an Oolong.
Right.
Oolong can. I think he's probably saving his thing for the Oolong. He's probably saving.
If he has the dormant, sure.
yes.
But I mean, if you had the dormant, you pop
that's
the dormant.
20,
Look
that's
at all these
35.
attacks. His entire board went bye-bye. So I think he can.
So 15. That's 20. 25. 30. 35. He needs 5 more K. Now
He has a cell max too.
Now Nate can't. Nate has to
Nate has
be
2 energy.
careful.
He has 2 energy.
He does have a Realm of the Gods he could have used.
No, he's gonna go into.
Ooh, and he doesn't get the draw, but
And then the Oolong.
and now he can run. No, he's just gonna Realm of the Gods.
I don't
here.
think you run here. I mean, I guess if you're afraid, if you think that he's holding the energy for the Oolong,
Yeah, I think
then
I think
sure.
you
But
have to Realm
Oolong
of the
represents
Gods,
a 40k, attacker.
Oh man, and this is where you don't want to run into the Oolong.
Right. Right.
Oh man, and we're gonna see the
So
Oolong.
if he has the, which
yeah.
he doesn't have the round. He just doesn't. But this is a play. I think that what you do, so he takes game 1.
Wait, I thought he had the dormant.
He did not. If he had the dormant, he would have popped the dormant turn 1.
Oh wait,
This is
what am I
round 2,
talking
guys.
about? This is round 2. I am going to create another.
Okay, so TrunksGeta taking game 1, and it kind of as we anticipated, TrunksGeta is just going to be the favored in this match, largely because their ability to maintain an adequate defense while being able to mount a game-shifting offense, right? In one turn, he was able to take all of those defensive cards, turn them sideways, drop down Oolong, drop his SCR, and then literally say, hey, I win, right? And by ways of pressuring Cooler's hand. The issue is not more so that Cooler could not combo, because he was able to combo, right? He was able to actually combo cards out of his hand. But I think that the difficulty came with the quality of cards, right? With all those unisons in his hand, where's the card quality, right? If your leader's effect is once per turn, right? Perhaps, or maybe it's every time. I'm not too sure. We're gonna bring up the Cooler right now. But if your leader's effect is once per turn, where's the card quality? If you have 4 or 5 unisons in your hand, you're only counting 5k value. What about the additional effects? What about the additional, what about the additional ways that you can create more defensive plays, more offensive plays, in the form of having actual battle cards that can do things during, the turn in which they're combo with, etc. Right?
Right.
So
Let me go ahead.
it becomes one of those matchups where Cooler has to really dig deep, right? Now, one of the things we didn't do was do the first-person analysis, right? I'm sorry, actually, yeah, third-person analysis. So when we look at it, right, you have Trunks and you have Green Cooler. Trunks players saying, hey, I know I have to set up my Trunks because I'm going to be able to stagnate their offensive plays, all the while creating a viable blocker because, again, Green, especially game one, don't have the means to deal with that. So long as those cards stick, he's going to get value. He's not going to be able to attack his hand in the form of 15k swings because he has 19k blocks. Right? So for each card that you waste, I waste, but I maintain a battle card on board. So you're losing in that presence. Largely, Green Cooler, he's able to generate multiple attacks in the form of his unisons, especially cost-efficient unisons. But again, the issue therein lies with being
Shout out
able
his
to,
team.
yes, shout outs to Team Lag. They are a team that has been growing. They're also streamers, and they have been increasing and making their name aware throughout Dragon Ball Super. I mean, we've had some really, really good performances from the team overall. Nate is a very, very powerful player. He thinks very well through the matches. We start off with a Demigra. So Paul going first is very good. That's in a good position. And he starts off with the Demigra. Demigra's going to be able to set up the early cooler. Now, I wish that Paul has, I hope, rather, that he has the Zamasu, divine, what's that called? Deity, a divine something?
Oh, the Divine Wrath?
Something, yeah, the Zamasu, because he could actually turn those coolers into problematic cards for Yellow. Yellow does not like to discard cards. We saw how thin his hand was, Nate's hand was last game. Had he had to deal with, 2 or 3 of those swings,
Yeah.
from like turn 2, 3 and up, it would have made a dent in how much he was able to push. And those are the little negative debts that accrue throughout the game that ultimately lead towards a victory and or a loss, right? So by swinging into those Trunks, making him, waste cards for blocking as well as wasting cards to combo, it just starts to go downhill. You have access to other freezers, which is gonna, each time he drops a card that's non-barrier, it's the same as discarding a card from the hand in the forms of in the form of swinging and being killed by his by his extra card. So these are the things that he's gonna have to look forward to in order to try to gather some advantage. And again, it's the determinant factor is largely the color identity, right? We're not seeing Green's color identity expressed here, whereas Yellow is able to express his color identity.
Right.
And so long as he's able to do that, even within the confines of Trunks alone, forget Riposte, forget Vegeta, which we really didn't see last game, forget POSS, and forget Realm of the Gods. All in all, just with Trunks alone, it's enough to put TrunksGeta in a position to defend adequately and then mount an offense after he's built that board. So let's go ahead and bring up the cooler. Do we have access to doing that? If not, I'm going to bring it up.
Yeah, I'm working on all of that right now. Getting the photos and everything.
I just got to be able to see it. Okay, so Cooler Galactic Dynasty, right? So on his awakened side, when he attacks, you can draw a card, and if you don't, you can play up to 1 green unison with a specified cost of 1 from your hand with a marker on it. And then activate battle, discard 1 green unison, and he gets, so he can do that multiple times per battle, right? So he's not like the Goku that can only do that once. So Cooler, the cards in his hand are currency, right? He has currency. He can pay 4 attacks. The issue lies in, again, the card quality, right? Because when you have all those cards in play in your hand and you're looking to make plays, it becomes an issue. This Dodoria is actually really good. It's really good in this matchup, especially starting off with a unison. So it's going to counter his 1-drops, which stifles his ability to EX evolve.
Yep.
But it does it for a turn because I believe the Dodoria places it in a drop, which then TrunksGeta can attack the next turn and generate.
This is generally for like repulse and things of that sort. Let me go ahead and end this Facebook stream.
Guys, yep, so at this point we will be closing out the Facebook stream. Hopefully you all have gotten notifications. That was just a general way to let you guys know that the streams are up, and we will be moving directly to combos. And that's good, preserving his life at this point. I can't see. Both players are awakened at this point. So now the game begins here, right? Both players are awakened. Both players are at 4 life. Someone said, can you turn up the voices? So turn down.
This one. Commentator Mike.
And guys, anything that you feel that we need, that we need to improve, let us know so that we can improve that for you guys.
And if you are new to the stream, go ahead and
Give us a follow, a like, and or subscribe.
Please. Yo, what is up, Turcoit? Thank you guys for tuning in. Red Truno.
Thank you guys. Yes, the first ever House of Hype.
Johnny T.O., Avalanche, the one, JT. Yo, thank you guys so much for the support. If you guys are not following us, go ahead and follow us and go ahead and share the stream. Right. We are in round 2 of our Collectors Emporium Clash for the Silver Conclusion Premier event. These guys are facing off for the big prize.
We see him play that King Vegeta again. So while we're pulling that up, King Vegeta, now that's yo, come on, yo. Why it gotta be on the second page? That is the King Vegeta, yeah? That he played? Whatever. No, that's not a King Vegeta. I'm bugging. That's a cool.
We got around 40.
I said a King Vegeta, bro. That's a King Code. I'm bad, y'all.
You know, people
40. We have 48 players.
From 40, we got 48 players.
Yes.
So pretty successful. Those who did not come out and support. You know, it is what it is. Yeah.
We definitely understand the code can be a deterrent.
I'm a Hill Twin. I got some things to say. All right, respectfully. Respectfully. Anyways, let's jump into this match, guys. So we got Nate dropping a 1-drop, and this is just regular TrunksGeta things. He's gonna go ahead and build up his board, and you know, at this point, he's gonna go ahead and evolve, and that sounds about right. So now this is gonna stop at least one unison from coming into play. But do they come into play in rest mode, yo?
Who? Yes.
The unisons.
The unisons. No, the unisons do not come into play in rest mode.
Okay, that's the other deck, I think. Okay, cool. But, you know, one of the things in this matchup which is so weird is that Repulse is really non-effective.
Right, but we see Vegeta. Vegeta not only is a blocker, it's not going to get charismatic because its cost is an 8 when it hits the board. It does become an 8 cost when it's on the board. So it's it's invulnerable to charismatic, and it affects the unisons.
Right.
So long as Nate has 2 or more Z energy, he's going to be able to use Vegito, generate a blocker, and then tax him for swinging with the unisons.
Right, and that makes a lot of sense.
So that King Code leader of Frieza Clan is one of the new
I think it was
promos.
a promo that came out. One of the
It's unique barrier and blocker, and for each green
like
unison in your drop, you can reduce the energy cost of your hand by 1. He has 1 specified energy cost, which means that you can turn him into a 1-drop. Once per turn, if your leader is a Frieza Clan card, at the end of your turn, or when this card activates its blocker skill, switch it to active mode. So it's a multiple blocker, as well as playing around the 3-drop Vegeta attacker, because he's going to be able to withstand himself so as to not be punished for his block.
afterwards. And then also, he says when this card activates this blocker, use up to 1 mono green card with 5k combo power from your drop in a combo with the skills negated for the battle. And it's an auto that happens when he uses blocker. So once you set this card up, it does not have barrier, but once you set this card up, it becomes a powerhouse in terms of defense for this deck. Because it becomes a 25k Z energy building blocker that can restand itself. And again, it will restand itself at the end of the turn. So what's
Yeah,
so
so it's pretty
powerful
powerful.
is you can drop it, you can swing, you can
And
restand it at the
barrier.
end of the turn, you can block a bigger attack, and then he can restand when he uses his blocker.
Right.
And it has barrier as well. So it is a powerhouse, and it can play around Vegeta.
Right.
Now, the idea is on attack, Vegeta cannot activate his auto to kill this on the block, because Vegeta's auto goes trigger pin, and then you go block or trigger pin. Vegeta's auto would resolve before King Code was switched to rest mode.
Right.
Before he became a blocker. So therefore, what would happen is TrunksGeta would resolve. He would have to kill. Not TrunksGeta. The Vegeta would resolve. He would have to kill anything else in rest mode, and then the blocker would happen under King Code, and he would switch himself to rest mode, become a 25k essentially, and then be able to restand himself so as to not be vulnerable to another 3-drop Vegeta. So this is very, very good. Now, what is that unison that's on board? Is the Scourgeon? No, and I need to see that Z battle card. I know that's
Yeah,
the
I'm working
green
to create a
Goku.
link to where we can just pull these cards right up, but it might not be ready until round 3.
I'm gonna have to use TCG player over here. I mean, not TCG player.
DBS decks?
Yes. Yo, shout out to DBS Dex Planet, and actually all of the deck building engines. Yeah, they just make our game better. So guys, continue to support them in any way that you can. Let's log in to the Hill Twins. So Nate's life isn't big rich. I can't see. I'm gonna go ahead and get an idea of what his life is looking at, just so I can have a better idea of the game state. But he swings. There we go with that block. Now this is a strong block. It's gonna generate Z energy, and he's gonna be able to restand. It's gonna make himself invulnerable. He's also one of the best one-drop blockers, one of the one-drop plays to play against TrunksGeta, because what happens is that when he plays him, he doesn't get rested. And if he ever did get rested, it wouldn't matter. Because
guys.
he can't withstand himself.
Sorry, Eon. Guys, let me know if the music is too loud. I just edited it a little bit more. Hi. Woo. This has been a pretty crazy morning, but this match is very interesting. Definitely glad we got it on now, because it would be interesting to see if Golden Cooler actually wins, or if it actually, I'm sorry, I said Golden Cooler, Green Cooler actually proceeds. But Yellow is just Yellow is in such a great position all around in the meta that it'll be really hard to see it fall off, especially in this event. So Nate passing his turn, I believe, and he has 3 energy open, and this is obviously signifying that he has some type of Vegeta or what have you. But Poor gonna go ahead and charge to his 5th energy. Now this is scary because he does have access to the 3-drop Cooler Unison.
Okay, so we have 3 life on both players. Now this is interesting because
let me go ahead
we're in, right now we're in endgame. Both players are at 4 energy, which means that their SCRs are live. Here's the reason why. When your opponent is at 4 energy, they're using 4 energy at minimum. So that means that when it's time for you to use your SCR Piccolo Han, it's going to be live. It's going to have 5 cards tapped. That's just going to be the thing. Also, on Paul's side, we've seen Paul haven't showed his SCR game 1, which was really good because TrunksGeta does not know what he's playing against. However, we know that it's Cell Max. So this becomes one of those situations where he's going to have to deal with Cell Max and leave it on board, or he's going to blow his board up and he's going to get that life. Yep. So that is a problem. He has to check Cell Max every time it comes out, every time it swings. It has to be dealt with in that way. The only way that you're going to be able to do that is by release from Evu,
or something that's going to negate his skills, and then you want to kill it if you don't want to pay that cost. But this is also rough because look what we're about to do. We're about to do our -3, and this is dual attack, triple strike, release from evil. We see it. This was good.
Ooh, and
He
he's got my
releases
block.
and he blocks. Now the block is scary because not only did he use release, but he also used this block. So if he has Cell Max here, we might be seeing game 3. I mean, this is yellow though, I won't lie. Yellow is just so resourceful.
Yeah, I mean, you just find
Yeah.
flash. I
Right,
mean,
so he can't
untap.
withstand. He cannot withstand, and he has his skills negated as a consolation. But it really doesn't matter at this point. So he has that energy open. Now, we do see Cooler is an attacker, right? So here, I would pick. You're at 3 life, that's a 20k. Swing with the Cooler, because we know that Cooler's what? Cooler's going to be able to, King Code is going to be able to restand himself. Oh, the Z Battle card. What Z Battle card is that, y'all? If y'all know what the Z Battle card that is, can somebody post that down in the chat? If not, I'm going to bring it up for everybody else that do not know. Let's go ahead into cards. Let's. I can't do content and search at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm doing.
I just want to know what that thing is. So
It's a green Goku.
So he passes the turn. Did we see the? I guess he was afraid of the Cooler. He does represent another release from evil. It could have hurt him. It could have, because the effect would not activate at the end of the turn. I think the issue is the checkpoints for rule processing, that when the end of the turn comes, all autos would have to be there in order to trigger pin. Drops a charismatic. He says, I'm not letting you get rid of that. Charismatics come back out again and it gets rested. Now this is good. If we saw Bergamo here, it could have been interesting, but when we see yellow players are not playing Bergamo. Attacks with it. So we know Nate is saying, hey, I'm tired of this. I want to push, and here's the reason why. You just lost your Vegeta, and now you're going to attack inevitably into a 25k blocker. This is rough. Okay, so what's happening next time? So Secret Identity. Secret Identity is going to...
Okay, we got a new follower.
Guys, thank you so much for following the stream.
Name is following.
So he's gonna attack, and you know, Secret Identity is such a great card. He has to, and that makes a lot of sense. He goes down to 2. He doesn't want to see a Piccolo Han, right? He doesn't. How many he has? He definitely has 5 in rest mode, so Piccolo Han would be free. He doesn't want to see a Piccolo Han on that attack.
I gotta go fix that. It says name. Let me go edit that.
Thank you, Name, for following. As always, stay super. So, I mean, yellow representing a lot of energy here. And we've seen that, well, we clearly haven't seen the dormant. So, the question comes, he just drops that. He drops the 8 drop. So, he pasted energy on the 8 drop. They cannot Vegito. Okay, so let's... Let's take a look. What do you mean? Yeah, we're not in charge of the stream.
Edge Espion, what do you mean they cannot Vegito? Oh yeah, Vegeta can only be played on your turn. I mean, on the opponent's turn.
get that cleaned up. We'll do our best as much as possible. Where the state hasn't, every few minutes there's a really loud noise and transition slide. The jump scare transition.
Okay, let me go figure that out. All right, I'm gonna try to transition. Let me know if the transition is loud or not, guys.
Jump scare. I like that jump scare. Okay, so he swings. Did he block? And you see he was forced to pick a Lohan here. Now this feels bad. He wasted a 20, a 30, a double strike swing. Now he gets a swing with the Gohan. We're gonna see a counter. He has to counter. Still a little loud, but overall much better.
Okay,
Thank
perfect.
you guys for
Thank
letting
you.
us know.
Give me a bench point. I'm fixing it for you guys now. Make sure these transitions actually transition smoothly as opposed to, you know?
Disruptingly.
Right. Anyways, yo, I ain't gonna lie, man. I'm gonna keep it a stack, man. Listen, you know, all that fun diddly commentating stuff is for the birds. This is the house of hype. You feel me? Like, it's time to get hype. First of all, you know, I know I'm a little late. I've been trying to fix the stream, but I'm biased. I'm sorry. I'm biased. This is New York. We got Nate. Well, I think Paul could be from New York, too. I don't know
Right,
about
I
Paul
mean...
is. But I actually go to Nate's locals. So,
Blessings to you, Paul.
you know,
Blessings.
blessings to Paul. I mean, you can root for Paul. I mean, you know what I mean? But, you know, Nate helped with the stream. Like, he helped me get this out.
Yeah, Nate
So,
definitely did.
You know, I'm out here rooting
But
for
I
him
mean,
100%.
you know, so Oolong Easy is out
Get it.
there.
That's what I'm talking about. So obviously, Oolong is a game finisher against Green.
But wait, all his stuff is on tap, which means he passed his turn. We could literally see Nate get Kablauser this turn.
Ooh.
I believe Nate is going to get Kablauser.
He does have access to
One energy
Secret Rare.
open and have, this is it.
Charging a 3-drop.
We're going to go to game 3. We have 22 minutes left in the round.
Okay, changing the charge. Perfectly fine.
Right. We have 20. Look at that. He's
gonna
going to
swing.
pick.
This is just a
This is
duelist
what he
act.
wants to do. He wants to bait out the counterplay. I mean, the negate.
Release.
But Nate knows he cannot. Nate cannot.
It's about Red Truno. It's about we got 48 players, I think.
Super combo. Yes, 48 players today's event.
48 players, man. Thanks to the players who showed out and came in.
Right.
Really supportive. You know,
Right.
obviously we wish we could have had 20 more. That would have been amazing.
I wish
but
we had 100 more, man.
But it's the first
I would love to
event.
have been doing so many rounds.
You guys are not here. You're missing out. 15 minutes left in the round, but our stream table does have the
It's on
21
time.
minutes. And
So we
50
have a Toa.
seconds.
Toa said you got to go. He's gonna pitch a card, and this is gonna be a useless card. It has to be. Now, if all his cards, wow, that's 5K. So all his cards are currency, which means there's zero value. There's maximum value in that Toa right there. And he's saying defend the 5K. Here's where you just poke. Wow. Okay, so we're gonna use a super combo here. Now this is rough. Nate knows that once he taps, he's given. Wow, this is
Okay,
it.
but Green also can't untap, so you know.
Right, but he also has
And
3 energy.
he's gonna
We're gonna go
Vegito
for
here.
This is
And this is good because now
Now I know Frieza can still KO all of your opponent's battle cards. Yeah, that's the issue because he loses the blocker. If he had a Z battle card, then he can't die from strike skills this
He
turn.
does.
No, 2 or more. It has to be a Z battle card with 2, I believe, or more.
no, it has to be a yellow Z battle card. I thought. We gotta pull up Vegito, but if anybody got him in the chat,
No, we'll pull up the Vegeta.
yes,
But-
I'm gonna I'm trying to edit this screen right now with the stream elements, so I just wanted to join in and give to the hype. But
Now,
blowing up the board.
Now, Vegito, his auto, from what I know, it has to be 2 or more. But let's just take a look.
No, you just have to have a Z battle card in play. But I could be wrong. Just needs a Z battle card in play. I mean, I play the deck, so I never have a Z battle card. It's a Z leader or a yellow Z battle card. It can't be a black one.
Well, I'll tell you, if that is the case,
This is
then
not a
he's
local,
sitting
this
in
is
a
our-
really good spot.
Shelder, thanks for joining. Shelder,
This
281.
is not
This
a
is not a
locals.
locals.
This is the first ever
premiere. Collectors,
Emporium, House
X,
of Hype.
Surf Hype, Premier event.
Clash for the.
Silver conclusion, my boy.
No, he's not.
get it.
Same, I play
get
MV. Yeah, but Frieza kills the Z battle card before Judo triggers the auto. No, the
No.
auto will
Auto still
always
triggers.
trigger. No, oh, just the Z battle card.
Yes.
There you have it. It shouldn't be active.
No, it should because. Whoa, wait. Actually, that could be a thing.
But he counterplays.
The counterplay plays it, but his auto triggers. But Cooler's auto triggers first.
Oh, it's turn player, so he doesn't have a Z battle card in play.
Ooh.
This was good.
That's big.
Now, here's the thing. Yeah, the first part triggers, however, the second part does not.
I mean, he's still at 3.
The second part doesn't resolve successfully. You do as much as you can because you don't have the Z battle card in play. It was a good catch. That means that it did not trigger. That's right. Wow. So we're gonna see a game 2, and I just feel like Trunks
game 3?
over game 3.
I'll be right back.
Trunks maybe pushed a little bit too much that last turn. And this is the idea between gauging it. He used his Piccolo Han already. He used, largely all of his energy. This is rough. Because this should be the triple strike attack, right? Yeah, this is the triple strike. So this is already checkmate. I mean, he's already in check. If he can't beat this combo, it's game over. It's checkmate. And then if all else fails, he can also play his SCR if he has it. Yep. Cool. So we're going into game 3 with 18 minutes on our clock, and we do have some overtime. So this can be interesting. Now, the determining factor for whether or not a player gets the win in game 3 after time rules is as follows: life, then board, then deck, then hand. So it is going to be favored on the TrunksGeta side. And the reason why is because they have 2 different awaken conditions. Cooler's gonna have to go down to 4 life in order to awaken. He has to. Which means at minimum, he has to be able to do enough damage to put TrunksGeta down to 4 life. That's when they're playing on equal ground. So both players know, hey, I'm not here to slow play, but I do know we don't have enough time to finish game 3. Your mulligan is extremely crucial. 16. The mulligan is extremely crucial. Let them know that they're still good. The mulligan is extremely crucial. You have to be able to anticipate what your opponent's game plan is going to be, right? Both players have the ability to aggress very easily, but both players also have the ability to create very powerful defensive standpoints. What their goal is going to, what they choose to mulligan and how they choose to proceed with that information is largely going to be the deciding factor of the match. We have 16 minutes and we should have 10 minutes of 5 to 10 minutes of overtime. So this still is looking like a good match. This is still looking like a good match. Cooler is playing the Cell Max SCR. Cell Max can steal the game. Cell Max can indefinitely steal the game. So it's gonna be a ball. He charges, right? Now I would have sided that out, but Cell Max is still a thing, so leaving that in is really good. Yeah, Cell Max is definitely fair. They're definitely gonna make it to 4 energy with the time prescribed. Cell Max can and will come up. If TrunksGeta is in a bad tap out position and he doesn't have access to release from Evil or what have you, it could be game. That is one way he can close out. At the same time, if the game goes late enough, TrunksGeta can turn all his stuff sideways through time and definitely get the damage he needs, especially because Green Cooler is not playing. So far, we have not seen, what's the card? Dormant Potential Unleashed. So, and going first really helped. But again, now here's the question. if Cooler's going to take the life, Cooler has to be aggressive, but he can only play that way, right? Takes the life, he pulls token negate. That's going to be good. Yo, I ain't even gonna hold you. Why is I speaking like? Hold on, wait. It just called me. But okay. All right. So we're going ahead and drop our unison. And you know, these attacks right here seems off and all. It's like, you know, at this point you don't attack, right? There's if you can generate the attacker, you do it. But other than that, there's just no need to attack. There's no need. You made him pitch the card. That's really good. I wouldn't even attack here. And here's the reason why. You don't want to give him an additional card that he's inevitably going to take next turn. Hey, you have a small hand. Charge something. Hopefully the card quality is high. Hopefully I get a decent card in your energy area. Since I know you're not going to charge anything, since I know that you're going to take the life anyway, there's no reason to give you additional cards. Okay. Search is out. He grabs the Vegeta, and that's okay. Vegeta's really not powerful, unfortunately. Not powerful enough in this matchup. He just has too many things to deal with it. But also, Vegeta's really not as important. So, going into the traditional, well, you know, swing with the one drop, combo it off. This way, this allows you to set up your Trunks always. Funny enough, this is a tech that I created, and I just see it widely adopted as, you know, the expected strategy or the staple strategy. Is it's really, you know, it's fun to see the ingenuity that you know, I helped engineer. At this point, yeah, you just leave the blocker there because the blocker is currency right now. You want to maintain 6 life just so that your opponent has so much more to deal with, right? Your opponent has to think about awakening. He has to think about getting damage, okay? This is too many things that he's going to have to focus on, right? So at this point, you do leave the Trunks up. Yo, we can go get some refreshments if you're hungry.
No, I brought a piss for you, actually.
Oh, the nigga is starving.
Okay, so I am back. I just had to run.
Stream.
I had to run back real fast and get some snacks and stuff because, yo, I was so tilted earlier trying to get this stream up and running
Yo,
for
it
you
was
guys.
rough. We're parched.
So this is game 3, man. Nate.
Nate's looking in the money, but
This
Paul,
is I'm glad we put
Paul
this match
did
on
his-
stream. This is an
yeah.
interesting match.
Paul did his stuff last turn. And we can see Green recovering, right?
Right.
Is this the perfect shell for Green? We're not sure. We need to see how it's able, and we can anticipate how it's going to play against the field.
Right.
But
So
Green getting a lot of tools, multiple tools from the previous set that they're able to use in order to have their position in the format.
I'm gonna show you the stream. Bye, baby. Right, so we got Nate going into turn 3. Now, he's in a pretty decent position because 3 energy open, he already has the Trunks established, going first on game 3. You know what you did wrong, right? Mm-hmm. So, what's his game plan, young?
He negates. So, the game plan is pressure.
Right.
You want to get your opponent to full life
As soon
before
as
they
possible.
get energy. Right. So here, you're going face. Do we say charismatic? Drop the freezer. Drop the Goku for the draw. I said Goku, my bad. This food is so good, y'all. I've been starving since the morning. And it is still morning, right? Hopefully it's still morning, y'all. No, it's 1:29. I've been starving since the morning. So we got the Trunks. Now, you don't swing with these Trunks. If you can generate another attacker, generate the attacker. Right. He takes the life. Now this is important. Go ahead. I would have generated if you know, sequencing is he doesn't need the 2 energy open because he's not threatened. He needs to be able to do as much as he can as fast as possible. Force him to use the super combos. Because right now what's gonna happen is Cooler's not bad. Cooler understands the rules of engagement. He knows, hey, I have to attack and I gotta do damage.
Right.
So you want him constantly defending.
Correct.
Right? And the issue is that those Trunks represent such an impenetrable boundary that Cooler has to now dig through or he loses, right?
Yeah.
Right. Like the conditions are already set. He's at 6 and you are at, I don't know how much life he has. I'm going to go ahead and confirm again because again his life is difficult, but largely he stays at 6 and he sits at 4. And when all else fails, you're going to lose. Right? We know, hey, anybody in their mother would have said, yo, Final Flash is a bad card in this matchup. But he knows what he has, the Final Flash, why he has a Final Flash. Right? He knows what he has that card in for, and that's the Cell Max. He wants to be able to say, hey, I'm going to Final Flash on a double strike attack like lead.
Wait, you can't Final Flash.
Oh,
no. You can't Final Flash. I'm sorry. I thought you were referring to it like a unison.
Yeah, Cell Max can be Final Flashed.
Yes.
After turn 4, so you know at that point you're not worrying about him killing your board and creating that life, which can come up. But again, the secret rares are going to make or break the game. We haven't seen Paul use a secret rare at all in both 2 games, so you know hopefully we can see it this game.
Paul showing signs of life, but also fighting very hard for it.
And that's just the biggest issue. The issue is that Paul has to now dance between aggression and defense, where he doesn't have that that the deck itself doesn't have the resource management that he needs. So he's attacking. First energy, we're gonna see this unison. We're still up though, right? Okay. It's just that Frieza, and he's gonna swing. Now he's gonna start getting some cards from his hand. You have 2 energy open. If we're not utilizing that energy, then we need to be. Yeah, that's so interesting. So he goes down. Oh, so he was at 5, so he has to go to 4. This is what I'm believing.
Right.
Which is fine. Yeah, being at 5 is okay, but
Deck looking shiny. Both of theirs actually. And we keep seeing this card, this Cooler.
this Cooler is a game changer because it plays around the Trunks. Now here's what he can do. He can swing into charges the repulse. Interesting.
Yeah, the problem with Repulse is it's just a negate. This deck swarms you with its cards, so
Right. I mean, more so Vegito is the so he goes ahead and block, and this is the perfect block because it allows him to generate a Z energy. He doesn't have a drop, so he's not going to do so. So he's just a 20k. But here we go, multiple blocks. And he stands and places that in the drop. This now allows him to create a Z energy, which we were unable to bring up before, but let's go ahead and look up those green Z battle cards. So that Goku that he played was a 1-drop. As Son Goku awakened by rage. When this card is played until the end of your opponent's next turn, it gains 5k power, so it becomes a 15k. And it can't be removed from your battle area by skills, both player skills. Additionally, it has an auto, limit 1. If your leader card is a green Son Goku card, and this card, blah, 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 boom. That doesn't apply in this matchup. The auto, limit 1, sparking 15 if your leader card is a green Son Goku, whereas... So is he just using that as a 1-drop battle card?
Let me read it.
Yeah, he's just using that
This
Goku
card
as
is played. If your opponent's turn, this card gets 5k, so it's a 15k. That's if your leader card is a green Son Goku card.
it's a 15k that can be killed.
Maybe just using it to get
It's
rested.
his battle cards. Yeah, sure, you can use it to get rested, but it's also is that the right one? Let me just make sure.
I think that is.
I think it is too.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Nate
it's
looking like
an
he
option.
has a better foot in this matchup than he did last
Well,
match.
Nate went first.
Right. Well, that's the difference.
That's the Trunks just represent too much value. They're that of the the King Cold. Like King Cold is so strong in this matchup. So now he drops this. This does nothing to his board. This does
4
nothing
minutes
to-
left in a round.
for the
Think
matchup.
that green cooler has more life.
Let's go to the widescreen. I don't think we need that. So we're gonna bring it to the widescreen just so we can get a much better view.
Ooh, 8 looking pretty low.
Yeah. This is rough. Both players are maintaining a very reliable board presence. In time, how do you evaluate board? So unisons don't count, unfortunately. It's just battle cards. However, there, aside from these barrier cards, Frieza can deal with, and charismatic, he has ways to deal with the other cards that can be placed on board outside of barrier. So the issue is generating multiple barrier cards and sitting at the same life, you just win because, Paul can't do anything about that. So we get the Dodoria in play. And that's the reason why the Z deck is so important for Paul, because that is a way that he can play his way through time, right? If he doesn't have enough time to close out the game or to generate that extra damage, if time ends on his turn or on his opponent's turn, and he knows, hey, I'm heavily guarded, what he can do is generate Z battle cards, etc., to create that board presence that he needs in order to contend against TrunksGeta. Now, this is rough, I won't lie. Being tapped out, okay? He goes for 3 energy up. Wow, so he's gonna shut out his attacker. Yup, he's gonna do this. That's gonna shut out the unison. So now he's saying, hey, we don't have much time. I'm swinging a 25k into your leader, and I just locked out your unison. Now this is rough because what it forces, it forces a Paul to tap 3 energy next turn to generate such a powerful attacker. So this was really strong, as well as utilizing its Z energy to rest the next unison that comes into play, the next threat that comes into play, right? I mean, he has access to Trunks. He has access to he has access to Trunks. He has access to resting the next leader. So the next unison or next card that comes into play in general, outside of barrier. So essentially, he can mitigate 2 cards. 2 cards. First card being played, and then another card of his choice. And that unison is an attacker. So right now, Paul has to look for cards. He needs options. But Paul's main attackers are his. Paul's main
He's
attackers.
trying to get this damage in, and this is big because there is only 1 minute and 24 seconds left in the round. So.
All right. And now TrunksGeta does have to defend, because at this point, I mean, these guys do have overtime, so it's not as grim. This is not a last ditch effort. We do have 10 minutes of overtime.
Ooh, and gonna go ahead and kill.
Faded Arrival.
Now, he can rest anything.
Yeah, he has to kill the Trunks, but the issue, however, is that has barrier.
He can proc that, right?
He can proc that, sure, but there's no need. Like, there's other barrier cards on the board. What are you gonna rest? There's no need to do that.
Time's magic, and that's really good here. This should be able to shut his turn down. Can't attack with the unison.
No, and that's the part that hurts, because now Paul has to choose between tapping
do we see
energy.
a Cell Max?
Okay, so it makes sense to get rid of that.
Now he can rest. He can rest this.
Pay the
Ooh,
Z
but that
energy.
might be the bait.
If we see a Cell Max here, this could be the game. So he switches that to rest mode. He can choose any one of his battle cards or unisons and switch it to rest mode when his opponent plays a card. So this is going to allow him to deal with that. He's going to pitch Now he don't have attack. Well, he does have attackers.
So, ooh, and we see the final turn. Well, no, it's not the final turn. Timer.
One energy is looking pretty final to me. And he goes ahead and charges. Yes, Green Cooler was doing his thing.
Yeah,
I mean, we're in
100%.
game 3 and Green Cooler is nowhere near free. Which is really, really good to see, y'all. I know we have a lot of Green Cooler enthusiasts. For all of our Green Cooler enthusiasts, go ahead and drop that down below in the chat. What are your thoughts? But I just want to know, what are y'all thoughts on
Yeah, hopefully you guys
on the
are
format?
enjoying the
What's your top
stream.
3 colors? What's your top 3 decks? To me, I would say 21, Red Sin, and yellow yellow Golden Freezer. But we do have, those are the 3 large colors in the
You
format.
said
What you mean?
you said Android 21,
Yeah, I think she's the best blue
Golden
deck.
Frieza, and who else?
And then Red Sin, which I would love to get a Red Sin on stream.
Sounds pretty accurate.
That sounds pretty accurate. Toking the gate, putting us down to 2 life. He's gonna rest that. That is a thing, and that's gonna allow him to bring out his Vegeta, or at
6
least draw 2.
energy.
He does have charismatic, which is gonna be important. But you know what? I won't lie. I like the charismatic for the little 1-drop Oolong. I really do. It's just a 20k. Oolong could represent 40 or 25. And we know that you don't run the you don't run the
What's Nate's
Torment.
options right now? He has 5 energy open. He doesn't want to spend too much. This turn is very important.
Well, it's not about spending too much. It's about whether or not you think your hand is stronger than your opponent's. We are in time now for the stream. Let me go ahead and let them know that they are in time.
He does have the double strike in his hand, but he has a blocker for it. He really needed that Vegeta to hit for another swing. But he goes ahead and he passes. Now this is gonna be tough. This is gonna be really tough, man. This is gonna be really tough. Extremely tough. Like, this is gonna be tough. He just passed his turn.
He passed his turn with 5 energy open. Well, hey, beat me. Not having a Trunks on board is scary, I won't lie. He don't have the Z energy. He doesn't have a Z energy. He's lost the Z energy, right? So there's okay, so now we are in time. So it is turn 0. Now Paul will be turn 1. And then TrunksGeta is gonna be 2, and the Paul is gonna be 3. So they have between 10 minutes and or the end of these 3 turns to determine the winner before we move into time. So both players are aware of that right now. This, I won't lie, is rough. We need to see a report. So he allows him the power of the Super Saiyan. He rests. Oh, wow, that's the only thing he could rest. This is scary. So he's going to generate the Z energy, which is this is phenomenal.
And on the verge of decking out, too.
Phenomenal. We don't care about decking out. I mean, if it came down to cards and, boy, you lose. But,
That
you know,
repulse will come in handy right now.
everything would come in handy right now. And that's the issue.
Charged 2 repulse.
Right, he does have Vegito, but if Paul plays around Vegito, there we go, waste some cards. And the good thing about the Power Get Super Combo is that it just lets you see what you need to see first, right? Like, it's
And he does have more battle cards on board right now.
right now, yes. So if hypothetically all of their 10 minutes was used up, by
Pitching the repulse.
this is
man,
rough
that's not
because he has a
good.
Fated Arrival on board. If he drops that other Fated Arrival, his hand goes and it could be game. Did he have the 4-drop he could have used? Okay, so now here's
Nice
where you
pitch
counterplay.
card.
But he has to counterplay here. This is good. No, he don't have the counterplay. So he wants to go into the triple strike. That's his plan. This is so hard. He had another 5K.
He had the Vegito, but he didn't
Yeah.
have the Z energy.
But he had the 5K in his hand. He could have used over the riposte.
Yeah.
Even the cooler. I
He
mean,
does
you have to.
the
but you have-
Jamaican waste energy. If he
But
does
you
that.
have to survive this turn. You need cooler. Your hand is dwindling. His hand is dwindling. Everything is going to be used for defense. He has another Paragus in his hand. This is going to hurt. He said, we're going into time. Okay. He's dead. Then that hurts too, not being able to rest anything.
He has Gohan Piccolo, I think is what he said.
I don't know. Well, I can see his hand. There we go. That's what he wanted to kill him for. What are you going to do? You didn't drop the Vegito. He doesn't have the Z energy, do he?
Yes. And Vegeta would have probably been better earlier.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I would have loved to see a riposte. Oh, okay. Yes. He's generated it too. Good. Swing. So he has to
Golden
rest something.
Cooler. I mean, I keep
He
saying
has to
Golden
rest
Cooler.
the energy right now. He has to rest an energy in order to attack. Because nothing else can be rested because it is not barrier. He has to pay his cost to attack. Rest that energy. He has to rest that energy, right? Yes, he cannot attack. It's gonna be
Second place will have all-time radiant prize, all first. So that's the first two places prizing, and not narrowly cash like we always do. But due to the fact I'm trying to make it successful for everybody, it's going to be $50 for entry, but for everyone here at the event, it's going to be $40 for your edge, and then have a short duration of $45 for your edge. So I like to think that the reasonable price.
Okay, so this was, yes, rest that energy. This was horrible for the cooler, only because he now he has to deal with Piccolo Han, and he couldn't kill. Swing again. Ooh, that just gave me chills. That hurts because he wasted a lot of his super combos offensively. You know, and that Vegito was a perfectly well positioned Vegito, right? Largely because it was either you're gonna rest that energy or you're gonna attack me. Drop the boom. His
hand's still really
yeah,
big.
his hand is huge, and he can use his his unisons. The issue, however, is just running into an oolong, stuff like that. You know, it's just it's a problem.
Gonna create another timer. Time up.
Yeah, I mean, the A-drop Vegito, just being able to touch unisons hurt so bad. So we got the combo out. Nate's going to combo out here. Oh, and Nate does play the thing, of course, you know, doing regular schmegula. Now, all else fails, Nate can go into the, this was good. Look, damn, super combos for days. Super combos for days. So I'm believing Paul showing all four of his super combos. The only issue with this is that if Paul didn't catch the charismatic, it's like, you know, Paul's in a good spot, but that Vegito really, it said either you're gonna tap this energy or you're gonna go for game, you know?
Right.
And you know, that was a perfectly timed Vegito. Looking at the entire board state, you know, hey, because he has barrier cards, charismatic, no, you needed the charismatic for the oolong. You needed it.
Oh wow.
That's why you needed it. And then he has oolong. It's over. Oh my god. No! It went to no cards in hand. No way. I can't believe this. This is so unfair.
Wow.
Yo, that was
That was
bro. Both players
crazy
battling it
match.
down to the
Wow, guys.
Yo, I can't believe. I mean,
Wow.
both players grinding their knuckles across concrete,
the House of Hype is
turn after turn after turn. That's crazy. Both players went to 0 cards in their hands. That's unbelievable.
crazy.
Do you understand? Do you understand that if he saved the charismatic, if he let the 20K swing and saved the charismatic, and he had you know, the 5Ks on board, right? Something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just
Wow. That was
it really came down
Yo,
to
these
5K.
guys